We have to ask ourselves, what sort of society do we want to live in? Do we want to see people as disposable? Do we want to see the value of life undermined? Or do we say that people have an inherent dignity and an inherent value, and we should be supporting them and respecting that right up to the natural end?
Gordon MacDonald is the chair of Care Not Killing, Britain's leading anti-assisted suicide campaigning group. I caught up with him at ARC and asked him what dangers we face since Lauren Edwards has reintroduced Kim Leadbeater's fatally flawed, terminally ill adults bill back to Parliament. So Gordon, we've got you here. Just tell us a bit about assisted suicide coming back to Parliament and why it's so dreadful.
Well, basically the bill that Kim Leadbeater had proposed it fell after at the end of the last parliamentary session when the King's speech happened. After that, there's a new private member's ballot, and so Lauren Edwards, who came second in the private member's ballot, has announced that she will bring the bill back. Now, she was under a lot of pressure from Kim Leadbeater and from other MPs who are strongly in favour of it to do that, and also from Dignity in Dying. Clearly, we're disappointed that she is bringing the bill back. And the bill was a flawed bill. It was recognised as such. A lot of MPs voted for the bill in the expectation that the House of Lords would amend it and sort out some of the flaws in it. Clearly, we don't think it should be passed at all, but nevertheless, that's why some MPs voted for it. But what's happened now is that they're going to bring back exactly the same bill, and they're threatening to use the Parliament Acts to force it through without giving the House of Lords the power to veto it or reject it.
And also, I mean, I know it came from Lauren Edwards and Kit Malthouse mentioned it as well, the idea that they may not allow amendments on this bill. Is that true? Is that possible? And why would that be so terrible?
Yeah, in terms of the House of Commons, they have to not allow any amendments in order to be able to use the Parliament Acts to force it onto the statute book. Now, lots of people think, even if they're in favour of this, lots of MPs think, even if they're in favour of this, that it's a bit of an abuse to use the Parliament Acts on an issue that's so controversial and sensitive for people. The Parliament Acts can technically be used because it is what's called a public bill, even though it's a private member's bill, in that it affects the public law. But it's never been done before for a private member's bill. So they can use the Parliament Act constitutionally, but I think the Parliament Act is intended to be used for in circumstances of government bills where there has been a manifesto commitment and where the government has a mandate, and that's clearly not the case in this case. There was no manifesto commitment. In fact, the Labour Party decided intentionally not to put it in the manifesto, and so arguably there's been no democratic mandate given to the MPs for this. Even those who are in favour of it shouldn't be proposing this route to legislate.
And I'd also read reports that the team behind Andy Burnham were saying to Lauren Edwards that maybe she should rethink this bill. So now Sir Keir Starmer has stepped down and we're likely to get an Andy Burnham premiership. Do you think that could change the course of the bill through Parliament? Would it get less time, for example?
Well, I think it changes the political dynamic. Keir Starmer was personally in favour. Clearly, people around Keir Starmer were very supportive of the bill. The government gave lots of assistance to Kim Leadbeater in terms of amending the bill in the Commons stage to make it more workable, as they described it. That's not going to happen any longer under Andy Burnham, would be my expectation. I think Andy Burnham recognises that this is a headache for Labour. It's causing all sorts of problems. It's divisive within the Parliamentary Labour Party. These are matters, I suppose, at the end of the day, for the Parliamentary Labour Party and for the MPs, rather than for campaigners to be articulating. But nevertheless, that's the reality, and I think lots of people can see that. So we would expect that the bill will get a lot less support under a Burnham premiership than was the case under a Starmer premiership.
And of course, we're at the Alliance for Responsible Citizenship now. Why is assisted suicide as a whole an irresponsible thing for society?
Well, I think it's irresponsible for a number of reasons. One is because it puts pressure on the most vulnerable in society to end their lives, that they see themselves as a burden on society, on their family, their friends, on the NHS perhaps. They may be experiencing coercion. That coercion could be from a family member, or it could be from the system, from the NHS, from employees in the care home. Who knows? But, the point is that it's impossible to detect coercion and to prevent it from happening. It's impossible to stop an abusive partner from putting pressure on their husband or wife to go through with assisted suicide. It's impossible in many cases even to detect somebody who's just looking to make an inheritance from putting subtle pressure on somebody. So there's no guarantee that people are making a free choice. Even if they were making a free choice, it's still wrong to kill people, and it's wrong to put doctors and nurses in the position where they're being asked to either kill people directly or assist in them killing themselves. So as a society, we have to do what's right. It's not right to kill people or to help them kill themselves. People need support and help, whether it's palliative care, whether it's psychiatric support, whether it's general practice, whether it's care home support. There are all sorts of areas of support and care that people need, and they're not getting it at the moment. And we have to ask ourselves, what sort of society do we want to live in? Do we want to see people as disposable? Do we want to see the value of life undermined? Or do we say that people have an inherent dignity and an inherent value, and we should be supporting them and respecting that right up to the natural end?
And now, of course, we can't rest on our laurels, and this is an all-hands-on-deck moment. It's very important. But personally, do you think the bill will pass the Commons this time?
I think we've got a very good chance of defeating it this time. I think our opponents have, in their desperation and in their arrogance, have probably gone too far, and they will lose support. But we will have to wait and see. There's a lot of work to be done. We need lots of people to contact their MPs, tell them that they're concerned about this and the impact it will have on those who are vulnerable, and go and see them in their constituency surgeries, write to them, find other opportunities to engage with them, maybe telephone calls. Face-to-face meetings are best, telephone calls are next. A letter is next best, then an email. Signing a petition is probably the least effective way to engage with MPs. But, all these things are valuable, and we'd encourage people to do that.
Brilliant. Gordon MacDonald from Care Not Killing. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.